Today I'm going to make no-bake chocolate oatmeal cookies. And the first ingredient is a half a cup of butter or margarine. And then we're going to do 2 cups of sugar, a half a cup of milk. I use soy milk, which works totally fine as well. 4 tablespoons of cocoa, some creamy peanut butter, some quick cooking oats, and then lastly some pure vanilla. Now this is a very, very quick cooking process, so it's something that you really have to keep an eye on. Don't let your butter burn, like I'm almost allowing mine to. And we're going to mix the first 4 ingredients first, which are the butter, sugar, milk, and cocoa in the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll... Okay, so I've got the sugar, milk, butter, and cocoa powder in here. I'm going to stir it up, and then the next step is we want to bring this to a boil for 1 minute, and then we're going to remove it from the heat, and we're going to add peanut butter and vanilla, and then the oats. So you want to break up those clumps. This cocoa is a little bit older than I would want it to be, but you want to break up those clumps and make sure that the butter is all melted, and then we're going to bring this to a boil, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's boiling. Alright, so it has started to boil, and we're supposed to bring it to a rolling boil for 1 minute. These cookies are great for if you think of like bake sales or a Christmas gift. That's actually how I first received them and came to fall in love with them. After they cool, if you put them in Ziploc freezer bags, and then you can eat them frozen. They're fantastically good frozen. I prefer them cold, actually. So that's always an option. And that's my timer saying that it's been boiling for a minute. So next up is you want to remove it from the heat. So we're going to turn off the heat, and I'll move it back. And then we want to add the peanut butter and the vanilla and peanut butter has been added. I'm going to mix it into the mixture. And the idea was with the boil is to get it hot enough so that the peanut butter melts into the chocolate mixture, which it seems to be doing rather nicely. And this is where you've got to act quickly. Once that peanut butter is mixed in, then you need to put in your quick drying oats, and then spoon out the cookies as quick as you can, because otherwise they can kind of get to a weird consistency. So I think that peanut butter is pretty well mixed in. You can also see that I have some like bits of cocoa. It's really not going to matter in the long run, but if that is an issue for you, you can always use a fork to break them up, or you can sift the cocoa before you put it into the recipe. So one of the things that I always have ready to go is a Pyrex dish full of the oats, so that it's easy to pour in and I can start stirring instantaneously. You'll see how the cookies how the batter rather starts to nicely come together, and it smells awesome. It smells like warm peanut butter. Okay, and now the next step is to spoon these out. I don't know if you have a big and small spoon in your silverware set, but I like to use my big spoon, and I use 2 of them to kind of knock one cookie off of the other, and I'll show you how. Okay, so you take the 2 spoons and then you just dump the batter onto a wax sheet of paper, which I have found is very helpful because once it cools you can just pop them off really easily. I don't know if parchment paper would work, I don't think it would, but it's worth a shot if you need it, if you don't have wax paper. But basically, they're going to pop off once they're cool anyway, so it just needs to be something, even maybe one of those silpatas, those things that help cookies not stick to cookie sheets as well. So there you have it. These are the no-bake chocolate oatmeal cookies. And I will let these cool and end up putting them in Ziploc freezer bags for to eat at a later date because they're really good frozen, as I mentioned earlier. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll see you next time.